got kicked myself out. Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of How the Ball Bounces. Welcome to another episode of How the Ball Bounces. You know what we do here? We talk everything sports. Everything sports is what we talk here, and we get deep into this thing. We only stay for 1 hour right now, but I'm thinking that we might have to extend this thing just a little bit longer, just a tad bit longer, so we can cover more situations. But right now, I'm just going to tell you my name is Raheem. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. But I have some brothers in here that's very important that's going to talk to you and educate you on everything that is sports. We're going to go to the right, to my, I guess that will be to my right. Flipper, tell everybody who you are,
What's
brother,
going on?
where you're hailing from.
I'm calling from Middle Georgia.
Okay,
Um,
turn your
I
turn
can't
your
hear you.
turn your volume down just a little bit, brother. You got your volume up a little loud there. Want to make sure everybody can understand what you're saying there. If you don't mind doing that for me, I certainly. Okay, say something to me. Let me hear you,
Am I
Flipper.
good?
Yeah, yeah,
Am I
it's good.
good?
If you could turn it down just a little bit more, it's still a little loud there. While you doing that, let me go down to John Jackson. Good morning, sir. Well, good morning, Lord. Good evening, sir. How you doing?
Can't complain, man. Life is good. Just getting off of work. Can't
hmm
complain, man. Ready to talk some sports, man.
Let's talk some sports. Absolutely, absolutely. Rico, good evening, sir. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. What's going on with y'all tonight?
Hey, doing pretty good, man. This is how the ball bounces, man. We talk everything that's sports, and so we're gonna talk sports tonight, man. And to start this thing off, I got to say, I want to talk first about Enrico. You and I spoke briefly about this earlier. Um, Spence, man, Spence Jr. Man, tell everybody, is he the truth, Rico? This is sports, man. We could talk about it like we want to talk about it. Now, this is sports. So, how good is this brother, man?
Man. If he ain't good, Malcolm X was Chinese. That boy the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? He a machine, man. I mean, he's like a Marvin Hagler evolved.
Mm,
You know, he's strong, man. He's big. You know, a lot of people talk about his speed, but if he had a speed problem, he wouldn't be able to land those punches on people, man. And pretty much every punch he throws is like a power punch. I mean, he throw with bad intentions every punch, man. He'll walk you down, cut the ring off. I mean, he just stalk you down like Michael Myers, man. I mean, he's like a machine. He beat your whole body up. You know, man. I seen him hit people so hard that he hit their gloves and their gloves hit them, and it still daze him. I mean, he coming with bad intentions, man. That young man. The only person of boxer I figure that the type of boxer that would be able to beat him is somebody that was bigger and stronger. Other than that, anybody his size, they're gonna have a problem.
Now, let me ask: is there anybody in his weight class that you can see right now, man, that has that power or that capability of beating him?
I mean, I love Bud Crawford, but Bud doesn't have that strength. And Bud can't take a punch like he can take. Because Gamboa, if you watch that fight before, the Cruz and Gamboa fight, even though Gamboa is older, he hurt Bud.
Yeah.
He rocked Bud in that fight that they had. I mean, he actually, if he'd have had some lungs, a little wind, he probably could have gave Bud a fight. So if that had been Bud in that fight the other night with Earl Spence, Bud would have been folding over too.
Wow.
I mean, that was a champ. That was another champion that Spence Jr. abused. He didn't just beat him, he abused that man.
Yeah, exactly. John, talk to me, brother. What you say to that?
Man, I spent the whole weekend watching NBA. Man, I gotta say, you gotta pass on. I gotta pass on this one, man.
Okay.
So it was full of NBA this weekend, man. That's all I did.
Man, you ain't catching on USFL.
I caught a little bit of it. I saw the Philadelphia New Orleans game. And the only reason I watched a little bit of it was to see the differences in like the rules and how they set up different things. And so I was just looking to see that. I didn't really get into dissecting, how I would normally look at sports, but I wanted to see what the differences were. Yeah.
Now you said NBA, so I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna throw an NBA question. I got a few of them. To take on the table as well. So I'm gonna ask you this: LA, the Lakers, did not make the playoffs. What is that going to do? Because everybody try to put LeBron in the category of being the GOAT. Everybody want to put him in the category of being the GOAT. So now that his team, the GOAT's team, how they talk about him, I don't look at him as being the GOAT. how is that going to affect his legacy? Is that going to affect it at all?
In my opinion, it won't affect his legacy at all, man. He has already done so many things that no other player has done. He's not the GOAT to me, but he's in the conversation with Kareem and MJ. So if you're in the conversation, that's good enough, in my opinion. But this won't affect his legacy at all, because who has gone to 9 straight finals? Who's going to lead the league in scoring and top 10 in assists? He's already won championships on 3 squads. Like you can't take anything from that guy at this point. He's already completed it. He's at his 20th season. There's nothing you can do at this point, man. Like, you may not like some of his antics, some of the things that he does. And the reason, the main cause of the Lakers' problems, the culprit, was the general manager. I don't care what LeBron told him to get, what players he told him to recruit. I'm the general manager. I'm going to get Bradley Beal. I'm going to get CJ McCollum. I'm not bringing Russell Westbrook to the squad. I don't care who you are, LeBron. Sit down. I got this. That's what the GM should have done. So I'll never blame LeBron for this season. I won't. I'm not going to do it. Injuries, and the GM. That's what I'm going to do.
Let me tell you something. And we got somebody on the phone. I'm going to go to the phone lines as well. But my thing is this right here. If he wants to be in the category of being the GOAT, then he has to take responsibility. If he want to be the GOAT, just like you said, he's been in all these championships. He's been in a lot. Yeah. He's been in a lot, but he's also lost a lot. Yeah. And I know a couple of players. Man, look here. If I just go back to that San Antonio series, where was he, man? Where was LeBron? The GOAT, man. You put Kobe on that team, and I guarantee you it would have been a different outcome. You put Michael Jordan, MJ on that team, I guarantee you would have. If you put the Greek Freak on that team, I guarantee you would have been. These are players. The Greek Freak, man. I'm telling you, I think he took that last year. He took it and he put it on the show. He said, "I'm gonna carry y'all all the way to this championship, and I'm gonna deliver it to you. Just walk with me." When has LeBron done that? By himself. The GOAT.
Okay. All right. You said a lot right there. You said a lot. I can mention a bunch of other players, old school and current players, that can't carry a team the way you just mentioned. That is a special, rare breed of people that can carry people. And Kobe couldn't do it either. I don't care what you say about Kobe. Kobe couldn't carry anybody. He needed Paul Gasol. And that was Shaq's team. Kobe didn't do it. See, I'm not a Kobe fan because I don't like bad decision makers. Okay. He is one of the worst decision makers ever in the history of the game. Why are you taking a shot with 3 people on you when Lamar Odom is open and Derek Fisher's open? Oh, because I'm Kobe? Sure. Anyway, I digress. But if you look at it though, it's a small group of people, it's a small group of players that can carry a team. And LeBron has done it with Cleveland when his best player was Matthew Dellavedova. Okay. He didn't win, but he carried a team through the Eastern Conference playoffs and won with J.R. Smith and Matthew Dellavedova. Come on, man. You got to give him some credit.
You will put him, and I'm going to go to Rico, because I know Rico, and we got somebody on the phone line as well. And the phone line's open. Give us a call, 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. This is all things sports, man. This is how the ball bounces. Rico, what do you say to that, man? The GOAT. Would you put LeBron in the category of being the GOAT? I gotta hear this, brother. I gotta hear.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put him in the category of being the GOAT. This season proved that to me. Now, is he great? Yes, he's great. I've liked him ever since he came out of high school. But he wasn't the person I want taking the last shot I want at the free throw line. And when you start thinking about GOATs, you think about people like Kareem and Wilt, you just figure, you know what, regardless of what position I'm in, if they got the ball in their hand or if they are defending the man with the ball, I could pretty much count on them one-on-one to do what they need to do. With LeBron, man, he might turn the ball over.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might hit it off the back iron. You know, I mean, and I love the guy. You know, but he's made a lot of mistakes. And then on top of it, being the GOAT and being the king, management built that team around you. They gave you what you wanted. You won a championship with this team, and now we gave you more, along with Anthony Davis. But we bought Melo and left DeMar DeRozan over to the side. You know, LeBron, hey, we think we ought to get this person, LeBron. Oh, no. Kane said that we don't need to get them. Kane said we need to get Russell Westbrook. And I guarantee you, we gonna run through this league like a steam train, man. Just come on. Listen to me. I'm the Kane.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Kane? We're gonna give you what you want, Kane. Now all of a sudden, well, you know, I don't manage teams. I didn't play on them. Injuries. Now, wait a minute. You supposed to put a team together just in case of injuries. You know, you were familiar with this thing.
Rico, do you remember the game? Do you remember the game where one of the guys I say would be one of the guys in the category of being the GOAT, Michael Jordan, MJ? He had the flu and all kind of stuff, man. Couldn't halfway stand up, man. And as a matter of fact, Pippen had to carry him off the court.
Yes.
I didn't hear him complain.
Yes, man. Yes.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, can't take nothing away from LeBron. Don't get me wrong. I ain't taking nothing away from him.
Thank you.
Just like I can't take anything away from Kobe. I wasn't Kobe's biggest fan, but Kobe was awesome. You get what I'm saying? But they made bad decisions sometimes. And Michael Jordan, he really could carry a team. It showed you when he came back from baseball.
Yeah,
he got them back over the hump and made them dominate. I mean, made Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon obsolete.
Yeah.
They had to wrap the league around those guys, and Mike came back and said, "Okay, I'll take it back." That's huge, man. You know, so I mean, and then on top of it, man, like I said, when it comes to the end of the game, when it comes to shooting those free throws, man, I don't want that boy shooting them free throws or jacking up no threes.
Yeah, exactly. Flipper, what's on your heart, man? How do you LeBron, the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? Is he in the category? Is he in the conversation?
I don't think he's in the conversation.
Wow.
I think he's a great player on the floor, but when he in the losing situation, when he in the battle with his team, he always walk out and he always leave them hanging. But people don't talk about that because, you know, they look at the stats and look at the greatness, but you got to be a great leader too to become the GOAT. I've never seen him do that.
Okay, I got to say something to that. I got to say something to that. Kareem left Milwaukee, and they won a chip. He just bounced on Oscar. Michael left Chicago twice. No, you're not bringing that up. Yeah, LeBron left because the owner in Cleveland was incompetent.
Why did he leave Miami?
That homecoming probably got in his head a little bit. I don't know why he left Miami. I can't.
Dwayne was getting a little funny.
Yeah, he was. Good point, Rico. Good point. He was getting a little older. Dwayne was old. Dwayne was always hurt. He was past his prime. And look, LeBron is an opportunist. He's gonna go where the best situation is, but just don't bring up the other two people in the GOAT conversation as they were perfect citizens and never left their situation. They left their situation when it wasn't as good, or they had to decompress or get away from the game. So that they all have a little blemish. And people tend to forget MJ from 84 to 90 and 95. They forget about that. I'm the biggest MJ fan out here, but they forget about 95. They forget about that. What's going on with that?
Out to the Magic.
Huh?
What out to the Magic, correct?
Yeah, he got beat. He got beat by Shaq and Penny. Nobody.
The man came back out of shape, man. He came back with just playing baseball, man. I mean, come on, man. Now
I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but I'm saying as in I'm not talking about leaving the team. I'm talking about leaving his players in the middle of a game. At the end of the game, he leaves in the battle.
Yeah, come
not
on.
The team, because you lose the team, it's a business. You know, it ain't personal.
Right.
But I'm talking about leaving your team in the middle of a game, walking out because you a sore loser. I can't really respect that.
Wow.
Being
Man,
the GOAT.
that's funny you said that, man, because at one point in time, man, I was LeBron crazy. But I saw LeBron disrespect Eric Spoelstra in Florida. One time, he actually disrespected him 3 times this one season, man. And one time he shoulder bumped him. Boom. His own coach. And then it got to the point where Dwayne Wade started disrespecting the coach. But then when he went back to Cleveland, when he first got, I want to say it may have been like maybe the 9th or 10th game, Kyrie Irving, man, got knocked to the ground real hard, man. And LeBron tried to act like he didn't see him and then help that man up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing it. I said, LeBron actually trying to act like he don't realize his teammate is on the floor.
Yeah.
And he let him stay on the floor. He intentionally made sure he didn't reach down to help Kyrie. This one they was going back and forth a little bit. And that sort of did something to me right there. I mean, because when you the man, you know what I'm saying, you still got to be the bigger player. You can't have that kind of division on the floor. Maybe in the locker room at practice. But on the floor in the middle of a game, man, you don't bump your coach like that. I mean, you're supposed to be leading young men, you know, people that's rooting. And I want to be like Mike. Well, so I want to be like LeBron now. Imagine them bumping their coaches. So, I mean, you know, there's certain things like that I saw that I was just like, okay, you know, he dropping the ball if he trying to be GOAT.
Mm-hmm. John, make your point, brother.
Yeah, I think we can always nitpick and find small little things because MJ punched Kerr in the mouth, you know,
in practice.
He punched a teammate. We're talking about people you're in the trenches with. He punched him in the mouth. You can't do that. So we can always find little bitty things to nitpick because in all reality, Kareem, MJ, and LeBron, they're almost perfect in the eyes of most basketball fans. We you know, and so we have to find small things like MJ in '95 or LeBron in the Dallas series or, you know, LeBron in the first San Antonio series and the last San Antonio. We have to nitpick. Kobe couldn't win until he needed Shaq and Kobe needed Gasol and, you know, Magic. Kareem needed Magic and Kareem needed Oscar. And, you know, we need to find all these things because they're so good. So, you know, I don't have a problem with anyone saying MJ's the GOAT or LeBron's the GOAT or Kareem's the GOAT. It's when they try to bring in somebody else in that threesome. I'm like, nah, nobody else. Will. He doesn't. How many rings does he have?
Man, I don't even care about no rings.
You don't care about rings? Okay, that's my retort. That's my retort.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. How great, and this is a totally different, and I don't know if I would even put this person in the category of being the GOAT. I certainly would not. But how great was Robert Horry?
I mean, you want to talk about probably.
We talking about rings now.
Yeah. I mean, Robert would be probably the best 6-man ever, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about shooting, defense. He could play the 3, the 4, and the 5 on defense. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He can. He didn't really have handles, but he had a nasty 3-point shot. Yeah. And Rico talked about clutch a little while ago, not wanting LeBron to take the last shot. I wanted Horry taking all the last shots. Yeah. I wanted to everything. I wanted, and look, I was a Sacramento Kings fan, and when that ball hit, when I think it was Shaq hit that ball back, and Horry caught that thing. It broke my heart because I knew he was going to make it. Right,
that was it.
I knew he was going to make it. So, and to wrap up my part, I think he was overall the best 6-man ever because he had defense and offense. Like Jamal Crawford, he comes in and gives you 25 points off the bench. Only offense though. You know, Manu Ginobili, he comes in all offense. But Horry, good defense, good offense. I think he's probably the best 6-man ever. I mean, yeah.
Why wasn't he a starter?
I think positioning, right? So positioning. So I think if he played in this era's game, he would start. But he played with Shaq, Tim Duncan. So the fit wasn't right. I mean, you know, I think if you look at the dynamics of the team, there wasn't a spot for him that would benefit the team more than him just getting numbers. So I think it was that's my opinion on that. Yeah.
Okay. Rico, do you think it benefited him coming off the bench, being that sixth man, because he can actually sit on the bench for a little bit, get the feel of the game, see what's going on in the game, and then come in and implement and or fit in where he needed to? Do you think that benefited him?
I think it did because first off, he wasn't the most athletic person. He wasn't that fast. So you figure you put him out there at the beginning of a game when everybody's at their high point and their fastest, they're gonna run circles around him and beat him down to the point where he won't be good the rest of the game. But by the time they brought him in, people had already been beaten down a little bit. They were a little worn down, and he would have fresh legs. So now he could lean on people a little bit and get position and get the shots that he wanted. So I think it was perfect because he wasn't very athletic. You know, mind you, that's the University of Alabama boy too, man. That Robert Horry, man. But you know what? It's funny you brought that up because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I was going for the Kings too. I wasn't a King fan, but you know, I'm the type of person I'll pick a team and ride with them if I see they have potential. And that was one of the teams that I felt like had championship potential until the Lakers made those moves. And man, when Robert Horry hit that shot, man, oh my goodness, I was so. But tell me why Peja, they would get cold at the end of the game, man. They was blowing like 20-point leads, man. They was giving up 20-point lead. They had it in they had it in their bag, and they just blew the lead, man. And like Chris Webber would freak out every fourth period. It was like he have a Michigan flashback every fourth period.
Don't go. Why you got to bring that up? Why you got to bring Michigan up? Why you got to bring that up?
And so there's a lot of different layers to this thing, man. And like I said, we sports, we all things sports, man. So let me shift a little bit. And John, I'm gonna come to you with this. Rico got off the screen for a second, so he may have had to take care of something. Rico and I, we spoke earlier today as well on the Morning Glow this morning. We started off talking about sports, and that's not a sports show, but we was talking about Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Do you think he won that fight against Sugar Ray? Should he have won? Or was it the flash and the flare that gave him the victory because he had a flash moments in that fight?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good question. I have to think about that one. Go to Rico first and come back to me on that.
So you want to be the sixth man this time? Okay.
I want to be the sixth man. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rico. Do you think Hagler? Do you think he actually won that fight, man?
Honestly, I was a little biased, and I've seen that fight a few more times since then. But as a fan, I felt like Hagler did enough to win, and that Leonard didn't do enough to win. But had I been going for Leonard, those flurries would have looked like comeback rounds. You know, because at those times that he was doing those little flurries and coming back, you know, he was losing. You know, he was getting overwhelmed. But I think Marvin Hagler controlled most of that fight.
Yes.
I think he won. I think Sugar Ray pulled those few rounds out at the end, and with those flurries, I mean, and it looked good. It did look good. But I think that was that eye candy to the judges, and that took it away from them. Because I mean, all you really got to do is win half of the round. Yeah. You know, but if you can win maybe 40% of the round, but your 40% of the round come with a knockdown or a lot more control. Maybe that 40% does look better than the 6% that the other person did control, but they were just doing the same old.
I think a lot of time by design, and Sugar Ray Leonard, I saw one of the interviews that he had even after that, and he said what he liked to do majority of the time is win the end of the fight, the end of the round. You know, I don't care what happened the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. He want to win the end round. So he said that puts an impression in that judge's mind that he won the whole round. John, talk to me.
Yeah, in my opinion, like see the sport of boxing is interesting, especially based on what you just said. The judges have a very difficult job to begin with, because I remember the Fury fight, the last couple Fury fights, right? And in my head, I'm like, how is Fury not winning every single round, every single point? And you know, I'm thinking, you know, Wilder won a few rounds. I'm like, how is that even possible? You get a few punches in and you get a round. And I'm thinking that, to me, so going back to your point about, you know, winning the round at the end, that brings a whole different like mindset to the judges or the scorecards of boxing, thinking like, how are they really judging this? Is it style, like stylistically? Is it, you know, the times they connect? how many punches they thrown? Is it commanding the ring? So, I'm going back to that Tyson Fury fight because think about Fury, man. Fury commanded the whole fight. He was dominating. And, and Wilder still won a couple of rounds. It was, so anyway, man, the sport needs to be looked at closely. It needs to be, the judges need to be looked at differently when it comes to how they officiate each round. And I think it needs to be looked at closer.
Has MMA taken over boxing? Rico.
No doubt. No doubt, man. I mean,
Glad you said that.
man, I'll mess around and look at it. If I put it this way, had that been a John Jones fight Saturday night while Errol Spence was fighting, man, everything would have been put on pause.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm telling you, man, when that MMA come on, that UFC, man, my neighbors got to go crazy. I'm at the top of my lungs, man. It's so exciting, man. And I mean, I've been watching it since the first pay-per-view. When they didn't really have any rules. I mean, it was dangerous back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been on it since day one, man, and I knew it would pick up. I just didn't know it was going to, be so exciting. I didn't know it was going to be this good. I knew it would pick up. But yeah, boxing has a long way to go, man, because as far as combat sports goes, that MMA is the ultimate combat sport.
Wow. What do you say to that, John? And I saw you in agreements with that. What's your heart on it?
Man, let me tell you, there's box office names in sports, right? You got LeBron, you got Tom Brady, you got McGregor, you got you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain names that you don't have to say the full name and you're going to stop, listen to what the TV is talking about, because no matter if they're winning or losing, you want to know what's going on with these people. And McGregor is more popular than Bones Jones, and I have reasons why I think that is, because he talks too goddamn much. That's the first thing. Because Bones Jones is a way better fighter, but McGregor is the name that everybody knows, right? So your question is, MMA has taken over because we don't have the Sugar Ray Robinsons and Mike Tysons and Evander Holyfields anymore. We don't have this surplus of heavyweights coming, in the pipeline. That's just super exciting because y'all remember Mike Tyson fights. The world would stop. The world would stop for Mike Tyson, and the world for MMA. We stop and watch because I think as Americans we like that brutal man-to-man, hand-to-hand combat. We truly like that. And I think when we see that, we see McGregor and we see these boys fighting in the ring, we put ourselves in that and we're like, oh yeah, that's he because you can't hide. There's no zone defense. There's no prevent defense. Now I gotta square up with Rico straight up, and if Rico gets me, it's a bad day for me. And so it's like MMA is taking over because of the brutality, because they market better, and they allow their people to be more of them. Even Floyd, you can see Floyd's personality, but I think in MMA they allow their personality a little bit more.
Okay. Is it more, Rico, of a gladiator type sport?
That, and it's more exciting. Okay, I put it to you this way. Floyd actually messed it up for boxing. He became too good.
Okay.
And you can sit back for 12 rounds and watch somebody swing and miss the whole fight, and him just pity pat him. And win. And everybody was looking. Everybody's still on that Mike Tyson high. Even people that weren't born during Mike Tyson years see the highlights, and they want some of that. They want to see some of that action. So you got the people like Bud Crawford and Errol Spence is doing that, and then you had Deontay Wilder. That's the reason why they even made that a draw. They couldn't let the cash cow go because that bomb squad miss. He from Alabama. I ain't gonna lie, man, but that is one of the most embarrassing people I have ever seen in my life, man. I hate when they put a microphone in his face. He just lose it, man. Well, like they say, if the Tom jumped over the cat, we gonna eat some water. He just say something crazy, man. You like, what you trying to say, man? He trying to be a philosopher up there, man, and then holler at Buzz Squad. But that was, man, he lost that first fight, man. That was terrible, man. But he was exciting. People was looking forward to seeing that one punch action. And he could have bought that had he not been so stubborn. But in MMA, man, you'll get Mike Tyson knockout 6 times that night.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
6 times that night, man. I mean, man, it's been nights that I watched the prelims and the main card, and only 2 fights go the distance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody just got rocked and they look like they about out of here, then they'll pull it together and get a win. Do a submission hold or something like that, man. And that science, the science of it. You ain't just using one fight discipline, but you got all disciplines that if you skilled enough, you got to apply them. That jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing. You like, man, ain't nothing like it. I love it. I love it.
Get in there and do what you do. Get in there and do what you do. Yeah, exactly. John, I'm going back to the boxing for just for a second, and then we're gonna talk a little bit football. We got to go to the football as well. Mike Tyson, between the ages of 19 and 22, where he was just putting people in absolute fear. Who can you think of throughout the history of the game of boxing would have been able to stand up against him at that age, at their best against his best?
See, well, let me say this first. Tyson didn't really fight anybody, my man. If you look at his fights, his how many fights, his first 20, if I would have named if I named the list to you right now, you'd be like, I've never heard of these people before in my life. And I had this discussion with my homeboy a couple months ago. We will look at Sugar Ray Robinson, not Leonard Robinson.
Yeah.
He fought hundreds of fights. Like he fought a fight every month almost. And we saw the names of the people he fought. It was legitimate names. Mike Tyson didn't really fight big names at the beginning. So, but to answer your question though, I think tall, long-reaching people would have got Mike even at an early age. You take Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas, and you take Buster and Lennox and Evander at a young age when they were more agile and not as thick and not as slow and not as methodical. I think they would have gave Mike a challenge because Mike was great, but he was reliant on one or two things. He never had that change up.
Checking in.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, he never had the change up. He didn't have the slider. He didn't have the fastball. Well, that's all he had was the fastball. I'll take that back. All he had was the fastball. So I think a methodical thinking man like Evander, a young Evander, would have got him.
What I don't think people give Tyson enough credit for. And I watch it. I look at it too. And we got a phone. We got to go to the. I don't think people give him enough credit for his defense because his offense was so amazing. They don't give him credit for his defense, man. Tyson had a heck of a defense too. People don't know, and you say the quick guys, oh, that's good, but Tyson had a defense on him, man. That he gonna make it real difficult for you to hit him solidly. He gonna make it real difficult for you to hit him solid, and that's what people overlook because they channel in on Mike Tyson knock you out with one punch, either hand or knock you out. Yes, but what about his defense? What about his positioning? His footwork was impeccable, man. His footwork was impeccable. Huh?
Hey, this Binky chimed in on y'all.
Hey, Binky, what's going on?
I definitely agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that defense. He was probably one of the best defensive fighters, with the exception of Mayweather, that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And so go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
And I think I'm coming in kind of late on the conversation, but I also think. Truly one of the best defensive fighters of all time, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Hey, John. John.
Hey Rico, what you got, man? Talk to me.
Okay, you know what, man? I think we could have kept on broadcasting, man. I thought you had froze up earlier too, though.
I couldn't see any of y'all. Like I'm just seeing you right now, but all of y'all froze up, and there's a spinning wheel around the DKM Media Group. You see that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, man. Okay, yeah. You know what? We could have kept broadcasting, man. I wasn't thinking, but we both had froze up for a second, so he's just gonna have to delete this one. But yeah, we could have kept broadcasting.
Can y'all hear me now?
We hear you now. Yeah, it sound good.
Man, I don't know what happened. Man. The whole thing just went down, man. Me and Binky, we kept it going as long as we could, man. That brother, he brought a lot. Could y'all hear us?
We couldn't hear you. Couldn't hear anything.
Wow.
You were low. You were buffering the whole time.
Yeah,
Your
you
picture
were
wasn't up or nothing.
Yeah, you were buffering.
See, like,
Could y'all hear it? Could y'all hear anything?
nope. We didn't hear anything, man. We tried to keep it going. Then it froze us. And it looked like it kicked us off for a second, but then it brought us back. And I didn't realize until I turned my camera on a second ago. And I was like, man, you know what? I think we could have been talking.
I got this thing from Facebook, and it says there are changes on your video. I got to look into this. It said one or more action was applied to your video because of copyright match. And I don't understand. We talking. What copyright they talking about?
What? We're not playing music or anything. Yeah.
No. And it says something about watch more original videos by Bangladesh feminist movement. And so I have no idea what that's all about. Man. You know, maybe somebody in Bangladesh say that, you know, our conversation, hey, we're talking about sports. We ain't talking about number sports, you know. Hey, I don't understand it. But let me ask y'all something, because we're gonna get out of here in just a few minutes, man. And hopefully, you know, moving forward, we won't have this issue. But we Beaky and I talked about the Mount Rushmore name, and he wanted to name 5. I'll just name 4 of your GOATs in NBA. Rico, who's your top 4?
Oh, NBA? Easily, man. That would be Wilt, Kareem, Mike, and LeBron.
Wow. I'm surprised you put LeBron up in there. But anyway, go ahead, John. What's your top 4?
I got LeBron. I got MJ. I'm gonna put it in order, right? So I got Michael, LeBron, Kareem, and Magic.
I'm surprised, y'all. And one of the reasons why, when me and Binky was talking, one of the reasons why I would not put LeBron in that category, because I've seen him several times quit, man. I've seen
You know what, man? Yeah, I sort of want to change him. I want to swap him out with Steph Curry, man.
Yeah, I've seen him quit, man. I've seen LeBron quit. I've seen him quit on his team, man. And Binky and I was talking about that. Binky, what do you say to that, Binky? Have you seen LeBron quit on his team?
That's kind of hard for me to say. I've seen him get frustrated. You know, I wouldn't necessarily call him quit. I don't call him being frustrated. I've seen that. And you know, and you guys, I still can't see why Bird and Kobe's not on you guys' top 4, top 5 list. Bird and Kobe's got to be it.
John shaking his head. No way. He's shaking his head. No, he's not agreeing with that, brother.
He can't see Kobe and Larry Bird. You got to see those two cats.
Which one would you go with of those two, John? Of those two, Bird or Kobe? Which one would you go with? And why not the other?
Bird or Kobe? I'd probably take Kobe because of the defense. But overall, Kobe's not even in my top 10. Like that's how much I respect the IQ of a basketball player in the top 10. You have to make good decisions.
Do you think mutual Binky?
Top 10, you gotta be kidding.
Let me ask you something. In 10 years from now, Rico, where would you put the Greek Freak? Would you think he would be Mount Rushmore?
It depends, man. It depends on how the rest of his career looks. I mean, he got a long way to go, you know. But yeah, you know, it would be hard, man, because I'm gonna tell you something. Steph Curry, he shooting the 3-pointers the way he is, man. He gonna put some numbers out of reach too. You know, I mean, that's some spectacular stuff that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is another gift. I mean, you talk about a gift like what Michael Jordan had, or having the gift that, I mean, Wilt Wilt was an absolute freak, man.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, you got to put him. I mean, like a GOAT of athletes. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's why I definitely got to put him on the list because he was just overall athlete. But with Steph, man, Steph is going to put some numbers up that I don't even think Giannis or nobody going to be able to compete with what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Go ahead, Binky. You want to ask a question?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. You said Seth Curry.
Yes.
Seth Curry is a handicap on defense. I want you to think about that. He's a handicap. So how could you put him in that top four? We're looking at, see, that's what's going on with the game there. We're looking at just strictly offense. What about the defense?
He good in defense.
Seth Curry is not a defensive player by no means. He's a handicap. He's just not building on defense. When you watch some of them games when they was playing these playoffs, when they were going at him, he was definitely a handicap on defense.
So do you think it's because of his size? Is that why you say he's a handicap?
Not necessarily, because you got some other players that was undersized. You got the Dennis Rodman that was undersized, and defense is hard. It's effort. That's what defense is to me. If anybody should be able to play defense. Offensively, that talent, like my man said, that's a given. That's a God given. But defense, anybody should be able to play defense, hands down.
Absolutely, John. What do you say to that? And I want to ask you this question, man. Why is it when people talk about the GOATs and stuff like that, why players, undersized players, if you will, like an AI is never added into the conversation? What's my boy Dumas? Why isn't he added into the conversation?
Yeah, well, the first question about Curry is, I think Curry, the GOATs, the Mount Rushmore, they came in the league dominating. Kareem, Michael, Magic, LeBron, they killed it. So that's why you can't put Steph Curry on that list. He's not even in the conversation. He's not even in the hemisphere, not even on the continent, on the planet. Those four are by themselves because they came in dominating. As far as your other question about smaller players, they don't get the credit. It's a big man's league. 6'9", long, 7'1" wingspan, above the rim, playing fast, playing quick.
Who was quicker than AI? Who was quicker than AI?
Not many people. I mean, Kenny Anderson, people like that. I mean, you go back to maybe Stephon Marbury, like very few people were faster than AI or just this fast. But not many people, man. But they don't get the respect because it doesn't look as pretty. It looks kind of. I mean, AI looked pretty. Let me take that back. He looked good when he played, but he wasn't above the rim like a Tracy McGrady, like a Vince Carter or like a James Worthy.
He had a heart, though, man. You can't take that heart from him. That boy had a heart in him, man. Rico, go ahead.
And Ja Morant. Ja Morant is in the same situation right now. He is to me. He was today's AI. And boy's nice. He played above the rim. He played all around that whole half of that court and on defense.
That's true.
But it's going to depend on how long he can do this. How long can he keep this up? See what I'm on. I like what you said about Steph not coming in the league, just busting tail like that. But it didn't take long for him to get started. It didn't take long. I mean, he had some people in front of him that he had to move out the way. So, he was I think he was underestimated. So maybe if he'd had the opportunity, it would have been different. But after he made his way, you saw what happened to Monte Ellis.
They shipped him.
You know what I'm saying? And Mark knew what he was doing. Mark Jackson knew what he was doing.
He did.
So I mean, but like I said, it would all have to be by the time everything is said and done. Like LeBron is probably the only person that's currently playing that you could even put in that conversation. But everybody else, we got to wait till the rest of their career plays out. Even Kevin Durant. I mean, they talk about he's the best right now. To me, he's not the best basketball player on the planet. But some people call him that. But I don't see it. If he's the best basketball player on the planet, then he has to be in the GOAT consideration. I think not.
Wow.
Good deal. They've been talking about Kyrie Irving too recently. Who was it? Charles Barkley and Ken Smith was definitely talking about he was the best offensive player on the place. Did you guys hear that a week or so ago?
He has some of the best handles in the game right now, but I don't know if he's the best on the planet. You know, I mean, he got handles. His handles are crazy. His handles are crazy. Yeah, but there's a lot of different elements to this game, man, that people are not taking in consideration. But gentlemen, this hour go by real quick, man. This hour go by real quick. We ready to get on out. Anybody, y'all have anything y'all want to say in y'all closing? Rico?
Nah, just hopefully next week everything will go by a little bit smoother. You know what I'm saying? I wish we would have got back on and started talking, but we didn't know. After you kept on loading, I didn't know if we could come back on, man. So I got off for a second.
Yeah, and it's I'm about to find out what this Bangladesh thing is, man. I don't know what that's all about. I have no idea.
It's not me. I say it's not me.
Exactly. And they say some kind of copyright. You know what copyright, man? We talking.
Yeah, we didn't even do
I don't understand that. You know, Facebook is what it is. John, what's on your heart in your closing, brother?
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure again. I'm looking forward to the NBA draft. I'm looking forward to the games tonight. I'm gonna watch the games right after we get off this call. So I'm looking NBA draft, NFL draft, NBA playoffs, man. Baseball, man. I'm looking forward to all this. This is a great time right now, man. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And the weather's good. The weather's getting better. Good. So, yeah.
And I'm gonna come pick up John one of the days in the next week or so, man. We're gonna take him out there, go fishing with me, man. Get him on the water, man. Let him do some fishing. You know, Rico, he got to drive up a little bit, but if he'll come, we'll take him on out there too. Let him catch a few. See, Binky, I think Binky's always in Greensboro, so Binky got 3-4 hours to go to get about 5 hours actually before he get to Atlanta. But I'm sure he'll probably make that trip. Let me got him on mute because some background noise, but I'm sure he'll make that trip with us as well. Go ahead, Binky.
Hey, I love the fishing. I love the fishing. My last thing is enjoy speaking with you guys, and I'm gonna give you something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
That boy from Gonzaga, check the next Kevin Durant, and that's all I'm saying.
You think we got to talk about that next week? Come join us next week, brother. We're here every Monday from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Come join us.
I'll be right there.
Appreciate it. It's 7:04. It's been a great broadcast. You've been listening to How the Ball Bounces. How the Ball Bounces is what we've been talking about. Let me mute the line here. How the Ball Bounces. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and How the Ball Bounces to be a part of your evening. It is now 7:05. You're about to exit How the Ball Bounces. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from How the Ball Bounces. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great evening. Take care of each other, and please, please be blessed.